Hey guys,
Hello!
welcome back.
We are officially back.
Are we though?
We're back.
We are back.
We're
but
back.
I don't know how consistent.
We're not, yeah, it's gonna be very inconsistent at the start of this year. I know we talked a big talk about new year,
New stuff.
show. It's gonna be a
New
few
show
months
is a
before
no
that.
show.
Yeah, no, that's what the new part about it was, is that there wasn't any show. But no, we're back after a long hiatus. I had a very busy few weeks, but we're back in the studio. Jason, unfortunately, is not in the studio
He was
with us.
gonna be here, but he
He
called
is,
in sick.
right now, so thoughts and prayers, guys.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. But no, we're back. A lot happened. Excuse me. A lot happened while we were gone, it feels like.
Whole lot.
Whole lot. So we're going to touch on a few of that stuff.
Do we want to tell them about our streams?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are still planning to do some streams.
We're gonna do Undertale Yellow
Yes,
soon, hopefully.
we really hope to do Undertale Yellow. We want to do another Lethal Company stream.
And this time, I actually save the video. I forgot to mention that. Twitch has this weird feature to where you have to turn on saving the videos. So we weren't able to actually make that into a
Yeah.
video because it's just gone. If you were there, you got to see it, but if
Yeah.
you weren't,
Oh, darn.
yeah.
But next time, hopefully.
Yeah.
And it should be better now that we've already done a playthrough once. But we have a lot of topics to get through. This is an older topic, not necessarily breaking news for us, but we felt like we wanted to talk to about it. YouTuber Matt Pat, who's finally retiring. If you don't know who that is somehow, he created and hosts most of the videos for the channels Game Theory, Film Theory, Style Theory, and Food Theory. Right, those are his four, and Game Theory Live. Those are his 5 kind of channels he has. But he is retiring. The channels will not be ending.
Sorry, I was just counting 21 days until his last 3 videos
Yes,
up. March 9th.
March 9th, he will officially be done with the channel. And has he just said who will be?
Yeah,
doing the
he
videos?
has so there's one person per channel,
Okay,
which is actually pretty cool.
that is pretty cool. That'll be a good.
And the guy who's singing over Game Theory has been around over the past year, and people like him. So that'll be
Has he
good.
done other videos?
Yeah.
And stuff?
he-
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he has done these crazy theories and stuff because he sent them an email trying to get in to work for them.
Oh,
He's from Britain actually. He still lives there. But he did these wild. I don't remember them specifically.
Yeah.
But
So-
he also did. You were talking about channels. YouTube runs a channel that he hosts as well, which
that's
is like
cool.
a podcast talking about the current viral events
Yeah.
in YouTube right now.
So definitely a big shakeup in the content creation industry. I mean, good for him. He wants to retire. He feels like he's made enough money after he sold it last year
Yeah, I think it was last year.
for a ton of money, which was great for him. So yeah, sad to see him go. What's been your favorite Matt Pat video? Or actually, 2 questions. What was the first time you saw Matt Pat? What was your favorite video you saw him do?
Ooh, the first time, I think I started getting into it when FNAF Security Breach was coming out, because that's when I was introduced to FNAF for the first time, because I'd actually had a console that had
Yeah.
FNAF. And then I think YouTube stuff started popping up for it, and Game
Yeah.
Theory was introduced that way. And I don't know my favorite though. I'll have to get what are yours?
I think the first time I saw it, I was driving somewhere with my friend, and he showed me what was it? It was what was it? It was his theory on Pokeballs and how they must actually be terrible for Pokemon. The idea is that in the Pokemon universe is that they're actually comfy, but he explained through psychology of warfare that they must torture them in there to get them battle ready. And then he also broke down the fact that in Mario Odyssey, the moon is too close to the Earth. And in that scenario, it would have been destroyed by the gravity and would have created a ring around the Earth, which he said canonically makes sense within Odyssey, considering moon shards are falling from the sky. Which was that was the first time. And it was cool because it was a good mix of his theory and then his use of math. But another thing that was really, I think my favorite, which isn't a game theory, it's a film theory. but his breakdown of all the OSHA violations that Willy Wonka's factory has committed is a really, really good video.
That's cool. His food, I like his food theories.
You
Those
like
are
his food
good.
theories?
Man, I can't think of a favorite one.
It's tough because he
they're-
has so many great videos through
Yeah.
the years. His Power Wash Simulator is pretty funny.
His story, like, he's really good at storytelling through his theories.
Yes,
which is
that is really good.
so admirable because, like, if you haven't obviously, but if you've seen his FNAF timeline, Ultimate Timeline, the most recent one, he like told a story all the way through it while also telling lore through it as well.
That's
It was-
really good,
It was really,
yeah.
really good.
I thought his Pizza Tower, he did a recent one because I love Pizza Tower, as y'all know. He did a really cool breakdown of the lore because the lore, it's one of those things where it's pretty. I mean, he gets into the weeds, which he does the work that not a lot of people want to do, but it's nice that he does. But he did a really great breakdown.
There was a more
of Pizza
recent
Tower.
one where he talked about where Captain Falcon gets his like Falcon punch and stuff from, like where
like
does that
yeah.
energy come from, like the fire and stuff. It's actually
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. Do you know that his theories are on like Spotify and Apple Podcast?
Oh really? Oh,
It's
you
like
were telling me about
it's
that.
the
yeah.
perfect format for it, honestly, because like you don't need visuals for. I mean, some of them you do, but like you can just listen to them and be like, you hear
Yeah.
what he's talking about. The theories. It's so.
But I still, it's gonna be great. I still think the channel will go well without him. But hey, that's just a theory.
Come on, come on.
I heard about a theory.
I heard about a theory. Hold on.
And anyway, next topic, or do you want to? Yeah. All right, you have more to say?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the people taking over the other channels. So you have Tom, which is a British dude, taking
Okay.
over Game Theory. Amy, she's taking over Style Theory, which she kind
So
of.
Amy's still gonna be part.
Yeah.
Of it. Okay.
That's not his wife.
Oh, that's not his
Steph-
wife. Sorry. Steph is his
Stephanie.
wife. Okay, sorry.
Is his wife. No, they're both retiring. And then I forget the other two. Like I want to say like Dante or something like that is taking over
Yeah.
Food Theory. He's like an actual chef.
Yeah.
And he works for them and he's pretty good. I don't remember the Film Theory guy.
Here's another great question. What's your least favorite video he's done? Because I have one.
Let me guess, is it Sans' Nest?
No.
Okay.
That one's pretty bad. I mean, that one, that's basic. If y'all don't know.
Do you know Watch Mojo did a top 10 theories event?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he reacted to it
That's
on
really
his
funny.
GT Live. Which is like, he kept
funny.
saying, you've made it when
you
Watch
watch
Mojo
Mojo,
does
yeah.
a video about you. Sorry, what were you saying?
Well, do you not have a least favorite
No.
video? He said, really?
No, I'm too much of a Matt Pat fan.
I did not like his film theory on the Batman.
Mm.
Because if you've seen it, he tries breaking down, like he said, so what he did was he was writing a theory that got deconfirmed.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was.
when it got deconfirmed while he was writing it, but decided to pivot to not that it was like this character was this, but that it should be. Which, like, sure, that doesn't get anyone anywhere, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't agree with you. It's just I thought it was a dumb video, which
Yeah.
they were kind of tongue in cheek about it because I think his editors, who were one of his writers or editors, was in the video making fun of him for it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a huge fan of that. Considering how much I love that movie, I felt like he could have done very different. He could have taken a very different approach to it and made it much better. But c'est la vie.
What is nice though with his final theories coming out right now, because he's always said recently that he can't do his intro music anymore because it drops retention too much.
Oh yeah.
He's not caring.
Oh,
He's
really?
he's
Yeah,
doing intro music for all those channels, and
Yeah.
I love it so much because like the Game Theory intro is just so
it's
good.
such a banger. It's so I'm
called
always
Science
mad
Blaster.
that the original version isn't on Apple Music.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
like there's covers, but nothing beats the.
it's so good because like whenever it starts playing, I'm just turning up my volume like all the.
I keep doing this. I keep wearing the. I gotta take this off. I keep
I don't.
wearing.
They're not gonna dox you. It doesn't
I
even
don't
say your
wanna-
school.
Yeah, but I don't want to wear it on this because I wore a nice shirt for this. I'm gonna make sure. I don't show
They probably can't
shirtless.
hear you. Your mic is away. For those audio listeners, Walker's like struggling so much to take a
I
city
don't want to
off.
go shirtless on video. I didn't want to go shirtless on video. Okay, there we go. Ugh. Got that taken care of. Ugh. There we go. See, I wore a nice Mario Kart shirt for the video, and I wanted people to see that.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. But no, really sad to see Matt Bat go.
which a lot of people are saying so many are leaving. There hasn't been like that many. There's
Well,
been
there's-
like you
I
had
mean,
Tom
it's-
Scott, but
yeah.
he's not even leaving. He's taking a break
Yeah.
kind of thing.
There's been a few people who have all kind of left at the same time.
Meat Canyon might be retiring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is an animator on YouTube.
Yes.
If you don't know who he is,
Yeah, it's interesting the different things you get because on one hand, Matt Pat's retiring super young, and then you get a
well,
guy
he's
like,
like 34.
yeah, and then
So YouTuber, he's
Yeah.
older. Yeah.
but then you get like an Aaron Hansen who's one of the co-hosts for Game Grumps, and they talked about it. He's like, I want to die on stream. Like, he wants to die while on camera playing a game with Dan. Like that's how he said he wants to go out, which. Likely Dan dies before him, but because he's like 11 years older than him. But no, it's just interesting to see the different personalities on YouTube and how they
I think Good Mythical Morning were just talking about retiring.
really.
I think so.
I think that's a lot. I mean, how
makes
long
sense.
has that show been going
They're
on
like
for?
they're in their mid 40s now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're I'm surprised.
So that's
they kinda
tough for
do-
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd still manage the channel. They just have different hosts, you know.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah, if they were more producers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no, sad to see one of the great YouTubers leave the site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big loss.
Yeah, Markiplier talked about it in one of his FNAF videos. He's like, yeah, it's sad, and he like covered it for like a few seconds. But Markiplier, he always talks about how passionate he is, like always
Yeah.
excited for the next thing because he always just wants to top himself. And
Yeah.
I don't see him leaving anytime soon. So that's a good thing.
Well, I think it'd be interesting to see what Iron Lung does to his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if his film works out or does something. I mean,
I doubt
don't know.
he-
I don't know if he'll say I'm done with YouTube. I'm making movies now.
I don't
I
think he
wonder if
would.
there will be a pivot where he's going to say YouTube isn't going to be my main thing anymore.
Mm.
Which I don't know about that, but
I doubt it.
I doubt it. But we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm pretty upset about this next topic. I'm just going to preface with that. I just wanted to talk about this because it's dumb. Many of you probably know of Megamind, the great DreamWorks animated film that was actually, which I looked up, I checked, was actually one of their worst performing films at the box office.
Really?
Despite being hilarious. It's Will Ferrell's in it, Tina Fey's in it. So, naturally, DreamWorks decides to create a new Megamind film and TV show for Peacock, and they butchered it. I hate it
looks so bad.
much.
It looks so bad.
First off, Will Ferrell and Tina Fey aren't even in it. They're not even voicing the main characters, which, first off, you don't have Megamind at that point. I mean, Will Ferrell makes Megamind. He makes that character.
Who played the hero
Brad
Metro
Pitt.
Man?
It was Brad Pitt.
It's
Like, they had a
Pitt,
great
okay.
cast, and they
Yeah.
gutted that cast. The animation style, people keep describing it, rightly so, as Cocomelon. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And what sucks is the premise.
Which that also, I wouldn't entirely blame that on the animators. Like, I'm sure they were underfunded.
Oh, yeah. And, that is not a ding. It is the ding that they have created. They have decided to take such a great property and kind of
Half do it.
half do it. Because here's the thing. It looks very much geared towards 8-year-olds.
Yeah, it
8-year-olds
does.
probably don't know who Megamind is. Like,
Yeah.
maybe. But, the people that love Megamind are our age.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they don't know what they're doing because they just did Puss in Boots. They just did Puss in Boots. They just saw that, hey, this is an old franchise that we haven't touched a lot. Let's really commit to making a great film with it, despite it not being one of our big IPs. Let's just work to make a great film and kind of gear it more towards the adult audience that grew up with this character. And it was a hit. Why aren't you doing that with Megamind 2? And which also sucks is that I actually, when I looked at the premise for Megamind 2, it's a good premise for a sequel. Like, if done well. Like, I think it's a nice, natural follow-up. And if y'all don't know, it's Megamind is now a hero, but then his old, like, supervillain team shows up. Which I think is a great idea to do. But they've butchered it.
The writing is
The writing looks so bad. And then they're doing a TV show too.
It's also the movie and the show are both the Peacock originals, so it's not going to be a theatrical release, which we're seeing that more and more.
Yeah. But that's, I think, also part of it. Is they're like, oh, well, if we're not, they made this thing and they're like, oh, we might as well just put it on Peacock. Like, streaming really, I feel like people don't commit to projects as much with streaming, or like they're not as passionate because there's this idea, I feel like, that, well, if we put it on streaming, it should make us some money.
Streaming makes people lose a lot of money. Like, there's almost no money in that market because it's not like it's direct, what is it called, cable, where like you're getting paid to have it on that channel. It's where you can watch anything, like it's on demand. It's
the idea that, like, I feel like streaming has become this thing where secondary projects can get made. And I don't feel like we need to be making secondary projects. You need to be making. There's been a quantity over quality mindset since streaming has come up because I feel like there's this idea of who could have the biggest library, and so we need more originals, and so they're not taking the time to make good stuff.
Yeah.
So, which is really sad. But no, Megamind 2, please don't watch it. Like, I'm not watching it. Just ignore it.
Ignore it.
Just treat it as not canon. Watch Megamind 1.
Yeah.
Watch Megamind 1.
Go watch Megamind 1.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
I'm starting to lean more towards physical media now. Like,
really? You just like to own the...
I would rather, or just because, like, the quality, like, of the thing you get, like a CD has so much better quality than any streaming service you could ever stream from.
That's why I do.
And so it's like a Blu-ray is going to have so much better quality than any digital media, and I honestly kind of want to start switching back to like Blu-ray and stuff like that because of how much better it looks.
I see a lot of stories about people that still buy DVDs, and people are like, "You're crazy," and they're like, "Just you wait,"
Yeah. Because in the streaming universe, you're going to own none of it. And it's just going to be taken away from you. Yeah, like, who knows? Like, I was thinking about this. I was like, when I'm older and I want to show my kids, like, Stranger Things, is Stranger Things even going to be around anymore? That was just a random thought I had.
If Netflix is still a thing.
That's the question.
What's great about Stranger Things, though, and I feel like Netflix has done a good job of this, their popular shows, they've put on physical media.
Have they?
Yeah, so you can buy Stranger Things at like Target.
Really?
Yeah, you can buy like DVD, like the complete season 1 or 2, which I think is a genius idea. Hey, we have this show that people really like. We know people. There's a demand for it. Let's just go ahead and make it available to non-subscribers.
Yeah. No.
Another movie though that's coming out, which looks better than Megamind 2. Will it still be good? I don't know. Is the 4th Despicable Me?
Oh. I don't think it looks that good. It looks better than Megamind 2 for sure.
I will say this. I think maybe it's just because we're running off the high of last year's animated movie selection of the more of like Spider-Verse, Mario, TMNT, Puss in Boots. Like, we ran off that high. And not to say there were still good animated movies coming out. The one that, there was Orion in the Dark, which I haven't seen, but I've heard really great things about. But I feel like getting now this Megamind sequel, and then we see things like Despicable Me 4, and Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming out too, which I'm nervous about.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Why are they doing another one?
Yeah, because this is what I keep saying. It's a perfect trilogy. You're about to ruin a perfect trilogy if you mess this up. And I think it looks like they're very close to messing it up from what I've seen. But
at least they have Jack Black.
Yes, but
and at least Despicable Me still has Steve Carell.
I'm surprised they've kept on most of the cast for Despicable Me 4. I would think at a certain point all that would be left is Steve Carell.
Yeah. Are the kids still the same?
I think the kids are maybe. I know people keep making jokes that the kids have just not aged.
I know, and now they have a baby.
Like, they have a kid. Like, clearly time is passing, and the kids just don't age. But no, I think it could be good. Despicable Me 4. I mean, I didn't watch 3. I stopped at 3. So I've seen
3 was not that good.
which I heard was not that good. But
1
I
and
liked,
2 are great.
1 and 2 are great. Minions bad.
I thought the first Minions was good.
It's fine. I don't like it. Minions 2. That was a good movie. Did you see Minions 2?
Yeah.
That was
It-
really good.
It was overhyped for me.
Really?
By the time I saw it, people were like, "Oh, it's so good." I'm like,
Well,
it's
yeah, we
alright."
had the whole Gentle Minions movement, which did not
Yeah.
hurt it. But
Yeah.
I liked it. So
Speaking of other bad movies, we didn't write this down. What is it? Madam Web. Another Sony Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man.
Sony, yeah,
I saw this video making fun of it. They were like Sony's marketing 2022 versus 2024 for Morbius versus Madam Web, and they're like, it's failing. It's like, no, now they're making memes out of it, and then now he's like, now we're just gonna try to go full terrible, so they will start making memes out of it.
like their idea is just like we have to make joke movies.
Yeah.
That way people will watch them. Like that's
Yeah.
their. Well, it's fascinating to me that like I want to know what marketing teams said to them. All right, we've done the numbers, we've done the groups. We really think that Spider-Man is the least interesting part of the Spider-Man universe, so we don't need him.
If they didn't have Spider-Verse, that division wouldn't be a thing.
Oh, they're like the Spider-Man Sony thing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Spider-Verse is the only good thing I feel like Sony. I feel like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Verse 1 and 2. I feel like those are the only 3 really good, and Venom. I think the first Venom is really good.
I heard the second one was good as well.
I heard the second one was good. I still need to watch it, but I really like the first Venom.
I hope, because I know you were excited for, what is it called? Craven.
Craven
I
looks
hope this gives you a
interesting.
fresh level of skepticism for it, because
I was always skeptical about Craven, but I was not like, when I saw the trailer, it did not look terrible.
yeah, that is fair.
Though, given that I just finished Spider-Man 2 and experienced like the best Craven ever, it may seem underwhelming, that film, seeing Aaron Taylor Johnson play Craven. But that one could be good, but maybe not.
Yeah, we could have talked about that. Spider-Man 2. What do you think?
I finished Spider-Man 2. Fantastic game. Really, really great game. Which
That
this
opening-
wasn't going to be. The
opening was
everything about the
sick.
game. I said this to Jackson. Every time I thought that game peaked, I was like, "This is it. This is the best the game gets." It got better, and that happened to me 5 times, and I was like, "This is a really, really good video."
I
game.
still think the first one's better,
Really.
just because of that. Like the first time you get to swing out into the
Yes.
city, the opening of the first one just outweighs everything the second one has to offer.
I
in my
like the
opinion.
more small scale of the first opening where it's just Kingpin and it's not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 2 was really good, and I feel like they handled the dual protagonists really
Yeah.
well.
Which-
That's actually,
who did you play as more, Miles or Peter?
I think Peter.
I think I went Miles.
I
more.
just think because I spent more time, I was more invested in Peter's story just
Mm.
because we had seen more of Peter's character in the games than we had of Miles.
Yeah, that's fair.
I understand the Miles thing because I really liked his story arc. Don't be right, like he had a really great
He
story
also
arc.
can turn invisible.
And he
so-
had and he just plays better than Peter.
I don't like the.
Really? No. Hey, spoilers, man.
well.
We'll bleep that out. We'll bleep that out in post.
It.
Boo.
Okay, I'll go back and say there's about to be spoilers.
Yeah. Anyway,
Or actually,
just bleep it
I
out.
think
You just said
there's,
one word.
There's
Just-
only 2 people. Yeah, I guess I could just bleep
just
it out. It's
bleep
fine.
it out. It's fine.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't like this certain thing in this game. Not a big fan of it.
Yes, we'll say that, and then he'll bleep. Anyway, Spider-Man 2 though, great game, and that actually brings us to our next topic, Jackson. Great segue. I get the segue this time.
Okay,
New show, new segue.
go for it.
PS5, they have announced that they believe it has entered the later half of its life cycle, and
It's been 4 years.
4 years, released
Less
in
than 4
2020.
years. It was late 2020.
So we are looking at PS6, I guess, 2028, 2029, and they won't be releasing any big major first party games in this year. And I think
Yeah.
when they said that, they meant like God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of games. So do you think the PS5
There's
that's too
rumored-
short of a lifespan?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You think so?
Yeah, there's no need to upgrade to a PS6 right now, especially with like you're barely gonna get
Yeah.
any more advantage of the hardware. You have to have like a really strong selling point, like something like being able to, like for a Switch, for example, being
Yeah.
able to take it anywhere you want. Like that's the
Yes.
selling point for that. Whereas like now you've reached the point where these people already had these consoles. These consoles are going to be supported for a long time as it is.
But that's what they're but they're not
enough.
supporting them. You know, like that's what's so.
Well, I mean, they've still supported like PS4 and Xbox One till
Yes.
this day.
But it's just I feel like people are realizing that the 8-year console get a new one. That I feel like there's an exhaustion getting created among consumers with that because I feel like Nintendo and Xbox have talked about we're trying to figure out ways to make that transition easier. Which whether that's backwards compatibility, whether that's sorry, I got a stopped up nose here.
I'm cutting this part out.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll cut that part out. I could not breathe through my nose.
Yeah.
But whether that's backwards compatibility, whether that's file sharing, whatever that is, they're trying to make it easier to do that. PS5 though, I mean, I just feel like that's not a good return on investment, you know? I think for them, you created this great console, let it go for a while, you know? I don't think you should be thinking about when's the next thing until you know you can do the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe they know they can develop another console that's more powerful. But the thing is, I think you got to wait until the next console is the same cost or cheaper. Like I don't think consoles need to be getting more expensive. You need to wait until the next tech is as cheap as it is to make as the last one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It's also the fact that PCs are getting more easily accessible in today's market, and like
Yes.
you can get, like I just built a PC. You can get a really good PC for sub $1,000 now.
That's true, but I
And-
feel like people are getting frustrated with PC gaming right now. And I feel like there's this
Why so?
shift for more focus. Well, we've seen a lot of PC releases kind of go poorly, you know?
Yeah, but you also get almost every console exclusive now
That is
on
true.
PC. So it's like, do I want to have every console exclusive by paying $500 for an Xbox, $500 for PlayStation, or do I just want to have one thing that plays them all?
That's true, but I mean, you know, people have pointed out that like, you know, console wars don't exist anymore. People are making that, you know, Xboxes, which we'll talk about later, Xbox is moving exclusives around. I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like the PlayStation is moving their stuff, a little bit of their stuff, which I feel like they could do more of that. They've moved, I think, God of War, Uncharted 4, and Last of Us 1 and 2 to PC. Which,
And
know.
Spider-Man.
and Spider-Man 1, yes. So they've been moving a lot of their big exclusives to PC, which I think is great. I feel like the one stubborn one that's still holding out though is Nintendo, which I don't think they'll ever.
Oh no, they'll
they'll never go for that.
Which, if they keep their consoles as cheap as they are now, then that's whatever.
Yes, which it'll be interesting to see. You know, people keep talking about, oh well, when the next Nintendo console comes out,
And you
this
could
year.
always emulate if
Yes.
you really wanted to.
If you want to, you can just emulate. I have a friend. I think he ended up emulating Tears on PC. He was like, "Why?" He's like, "Dude, I want to play the game as it's meant to be played," which is
Yeah.
very fair. But like, think about that. If Nintendo were to bring Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to the PC,
Oh, it'd be
it'd sell so well because people would like optimize the heck out of it.
Uh-huh.
And
And
people have, and it looks beautiful
Adam-
when it's running.
Adam, who was on this podcast, the Cuphead speedrunner,
Yes,
he has simulated a lot of Nintendo games on his PC as well. He got Mario Wonder on his PC.
how's that look?
It's awesome.
I bet you know what the game I want to see running at like, 4K 60 is Odyssey, which I
that'd
think
be
it
cool.
does run at 60 on the Switch.
Yeah, but not 4K, obviously.
Not
'cause-
4K, but
Which I don't think the next Nintendo console is going to even hit 4K.
no, I don't think they're even doing OLED for it.
I'm sure they. Well, the question is, does it even have a screen itself?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know that's the other thing. I feel like people keep talking about it being the Switch 2. We don't
it's-
even know if it's.
It's rumored to come out Christmas this year. There's also a rumor that Xbox will revise the Series generation
X.
this year by Christmas.
Which I think is also
would be
another great segue. Now that he's brought up Xbox, crushing it. This is my year, Jackson. It is the year of the Walker segue on this podcast. Anyway, Xbox just recently had an event where I think it was a podcast.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Phil
yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, it was like a
gave
20-minute podcast.
and made a couple of things. Phil Spencer denied any claims that Xbox was cutting console plans. It was just going to be a game developer.
That would have been interesting.
The idea was that they would just have what was be known as Microsoft Game Pass, and that would be brought to other consoles and services. But honestly, my opinion, would be a good idea for them.
But then that would drive out the competition against PlayStation,
That's
which would
true.
be very bad.
They're also planning to add 4 exclusives to other consoles, which I believe Hi-Fi Rush is one of them.
I think Sea of Thieves is another one,
And Sea of Thieves will probably be another one.
which would be awesome because more people need to play that game because that
it would
game
be
is
great on Switch.
amazing.
I wish I had.
I wish it wasn't $40 though. That's a lot.
And then, but he did say that Starfield and Indiana Jones will not be coming to any other consoles. Yeah. What do we think about these announcements, Jackson?
I think it's expected. And, Xbox has been playing the long game, where they have Game Pass, which is a very good service, not good for the developers of the games that are on Game
Yeah.
Pass. Just as Netflix is or
Yeah.
HBO Max or whatever they call it.
Well, I mean that's what happened to the Hi-Fi Rush developers, which I think the Hi-Fi Rush developers are happy it's coming to other consoles.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because I remember them coming out saying like, we're not really sure how the money works with this game, you know, just because it was a day one Game Pass game. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah. So and you also have their cloud streaming that's been pretty good recently. It's still in beta, but it works. Not great for online games, but I imagine the cloud streaming is going to go to Switch sometime, to PlayStation sometime soon, because they've had it on TVs now. They have it on Android. You can get it on iOS, but you have to do it through a web app because Apple don't want to get into that.
yeah. No, Microsoft, I've always said about Microsoft and Xbox, I really like them as a company because they've always seemed like they're fine being third. Mm-hmm. You know? Or at least
Specifically Xbox.
Xbox. I don't know if Microsoft, I don't
Microsoft
know.
is not.
But I feel like Xbox and that division and Phil Spencer has been like, look, you know, we lost, and they're open with that. It doesn't mean, because they understand that losing the console wars doesn't mean you're not a viable company. Like at a certain point, there's enough space, I feel like, in the gaming industry now. Maybe not 20 years ago. I think 20 years ago it was super competitive because it was such a smaller pool. So there was this, we got to get as many people playing our stuff as we can. But I feel like it's become so colloquial and such a more common thing that there's more room for that many people to be successful.
I honestly wish we had a third competitor. Like, you can't really count Nintendo as a competitor because
Because they broke it. Because
they're so far away from what
Yes.
they're doing. So like, I wish Sega could come back. Honestly,
Yeah, well, Sega's
Sega
just...
would probably crush it today. I'm
I'm surprised Sega doesn't get bought up by an Xbox or a Nintendo. I'm
Yeah.
sure they're still a viable, like a huge company, but
Well, I mean, you always got who makes it? I think Snoop Dogg tries to do a console every once in a while. Some rapper does. I
yeah,
don't know.
like making a console is a hard thing, especially if you're not an established.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. I have this great book about the history of game consoles. The amount of they'll show you a generation. It'll give you 30 consoles. You only know 3 of those going into the book. All of those lasted a month or 2 months and get discontinued. It's not like these are the only people making consoles. But they have such a grip on this industry.
A lot of the new ones are handheld now, which is also another thing. There's a lot more PC handhelds now. You've got the MSI Claw, the ROG Ally, and
yeah.
the Steam Deck. which are all
yeah.
great.
And the other great handheld, which is I think something that people don't pay attention to. I might get it soon. It's called the Playdate.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Logitech G Cloud.
Have you heard about this thing?
Is that the thing with the crank?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Panic, I believe, makes it, which is the developer of Untitled Goose Game.
Which they're releasing a new game soon that looks
Yes.
actually awesome.
What was it called again?
I don't
It's
remember.
the hike game,
but
right?
it
Yeah.
looks fun.
Anyway, so they've created this little yellow $200 handheld that comes preloaded. They send you a game like every week, and there's like different games to play on it, but all the games are free on it. And it has a button, B button, D-pad, and a crank. And they gave it to developers, and they just said, make what you want. And so it was just a really great platform for indie developers to try out new things and for them to try out new things. And I think it's a really cool project. I've been meaning to try one.
But it really seems that the handheld space has been increasing a lot recently. You know, because you also have the PlayStation Portal and the Logitech G Cloud, which are both streaming devices dedicated to
Yes.
gaming, right? Which the Logitech G Cloud's it's pretty cool. We talked about the PlayStation Portal before,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yeah. I'm surprised Xbox hasn't tried to do a handheld.
I imagine that would come later this year.
Yes, I'm sure they'll want to do something soon.
Would the question is would they do streaming?
Is it a
Or would they do because they as I said they have Game Pass cloud streaming, which is like their whole thing.
I think if you did a Game Pass like cloud streamed handheld, but you don't have to be near the console. Mm-hmm. Like
Because
PlayStation, you have to be on the same Wi-Fi as the console or whatever, right?
you just have to be on a Wi-Fi network, just a Wi-Fi network.
Oh, do you not have to be near your PS5?
No, because it's remote play, so you can just play from anywhere.
Got it. Okay.
It's like you could pull it up on your PlayStation app and remote play from your phone.
Oh, really?
It's the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Because Xbox has that as well, which remote play is very buggy. I found it never works as expected.
Yeah.
It's like AirPlay for like Apple TVs or
But
whatever.
PlayStation's seem to work well, right? Or is it? It's released, yeah. the
Yeah,
handheld.
it's fine. Yeah,
It's fine.
It's just
yeah.
fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, people have been really pushing that. I mean, I think the Switch and the Steam Deck, if you're looking for console quality gaming portably, Switch and Steam Deck are your best way to go.
The Steam Deck is so good for its price.
I
It's-
feel bad for Nintendo though, because they had this thing. They had a
Hey.
home console that they could take anywhere, and it was like their thing. And now everyone else is trying it. They're like, wait, but that's our thing.
I don't feel bad. That
But you know,
space needs competition
yeah. It
because
needs competition to make it better. But you know, Nintendo was like, we're back. You know,
yeah,
we got a thing.
they have to actually fight now. Unlike they
Yeah.
haven't had to in the past 8
Yeah.
years, which is very nice. Especially because like have you seen the ROG Ally
No.
or the MSI Claw? They're basically just more powerful Steam Decks,
Really?
and they both run Windows, which is interesting.
that's cool.
But it is. I've heard that Steam Deck is nice because the Linux-based software is nicer because the Windows handheld software is actually just terrible.
Oh yeah, like you could do a lot more.
Because it has
customization with
Steam OS, which is
Yes.
like a whole thing.
Anyway, so a lot of stuff happening in the console world, in the gaming industry. We're going to shift gears for a little bit for our next topic. Deadpool 3's trailer dropped during the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Get excited, guys. Deadpool and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's back. We knew that. But
Yeah.
we finally got to look at how Deadpool is coming into the
It looks
MCU.
awesome.
And, you know, I think there was a lot of worry about what's going to be lost from Deadpool when he's bought by Disney. Nothing. Like, Disney made the right decision. I think they gave them free reign to really do what they want with this franchise. I mean, I think they're truly going to make fun of the fact that the MCU has been really bad very recently. And they're saying it's going to change it.
They said that about like what Doctor Strange as well.
They said, they kept saying, like, the MCU is never going to be the same after Doctor Strange. The MCU is never going to be the same at Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Which, like,
They
But
didn't.
I trust Deadpool more than Doctor Strange and Ant-Man to do that, of anyone.
They didn't say that to Guardians of the Galaxy, and look how that turned out.
Yeah. Which I still need to watch
You haven't
Guardians
seen
3.
it?
I know.
Wow.
But, no, I'm very excited about Deadpool Wolverine. Those first two Deadpool films, I love. They're hilarious. And
Mm-hmm.
I grew up watching the X-Men films, so it's really exciting to see Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine.
Oh, did you see the X-Men 97? What is it
Oh
called?
yeah, X-Men 97.
No, yeah, trailer. That looks pretty good.
Yes, because people love the original 97 cartoon.
It's like it almost looks like What If, but it's
Like
3D.
kind of similar
There's like 2D
animation
still. But,
Yeah.
So
but-
that's pretty cool.
No, Deadpool 3, I think, has a chance to really. I mean, I'm going to go back to it. I mean, I expect it to make a ton of money because I'm going to go see it. It'll be like the first MCU movie I've seen since Quantumania. But
Yeah. It's yeah. I
you
think
know,
I'll go see
it was the most viewed trailer of all time on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It had some stat like that. It was
That
like in
is
the
crazy.
first few days of it being out. And I also love that like Ryan Reynolds, like they're so smart because Ryan Reynolds has been the marketing for it. Like he's posting the development updates like on his channel.
On his YouTube channel,
On
yeah.
his YouTube and not like Disney's or whatever. Which has been really
Just so
funny.
smart. Yeah, but it looks like a really good trailer.
Oh yeah, like it looks like a good film, really poking fun at MCU and the Fox universe and having those two together. I hope Deadpool gets to interact with some of the more with more of the mainline characters. I mean, it didn't look like that was happening a lot in the trailer, but it'd be great if he gets to meet like a Thor or whatever.
I'm sure
Like,
they will eventually,
eventually, yeah.
but who knows?
Well,
Do you need a second to go
yeah,
to the bathroom?
I'm so stopped up.
Go.
Let's take a break.
I will talk in the meantime. He's been sniffling a lot. If you can't tell, Walker's not very sick, but he's
I'm not very. They can't hear.
a little cold, you know. So now it's just me and you. He's leaving the door open, and he can't do that. Audio quality. There we go. Hopefully that shuts. What I wanted to talk about this week also, which we forgot to add, is the Apple Vision Pro has come out. So that is not a VR headset. It is a spatial computing headset, as Apple calls it, because they don't want to use the word VR. It's very... my dad got to try it. He said it was really cool, which I'm sure, yes, it probably is very cool. There's no way it is worth $3,500 because that is insane. The fact that you can do almost everything with the $500 MetaQuest 3 headset, everything that's like, obviously it's not as good as tracking, but it's like still very similar, is kind of crazy to me. And Walker's back, and that wraps up our secret topic of the day that Walker.
What's the topic? Do I not get to know until I listen to
You don't get to know. No, I'm kidding. I was talking about the Apple Vision Pro.
the what, Apple Vision Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your bonus topic. Your bonus Jackson solo topic. Catching up with Jackson.
Yeah, new segment.
New sub segment. Thank you for that. That was. Oh, my nose feels so much better.
I hope
Where
they
are we
couldn't
talking
hear that
about?
because it sounded like an elephant in the other room. But
Dude, I can't. It's so bad. My nose gets so stopped up, and I don't know. I got cursed with like I cannot blow my nose without like sounding like a whale blowing out of his blowhole. It's so bad, and so like my nose gets stopped up, and I feel like I can't blow my nose in public because it like makes the loudest sound ever, and I know it's super obnoxious, but like it gets so stopped up. Anyway, Deadpool 3, very excited.
Yeah.
And Wolverine's got his OG yellow suit, which is so exciting. We've talked
That is
about all
cool.
this, but seeing the trailer, and it looks like they're gonna make the TVA cool, which this is as much as I like to dog on Marvel, this is why the MCU is genius. I want to watch Deadpool 3 now. I feel like I have to watch Loki season 2 to get ready for it because of the TVA.
I
So-
doubt it.
I know, but like it's that domino effect of okay, to get ready for this, I feel like I have to know this is going on, and then of course that's going to open up a whole can of worms. I feel like we're going to jump right back into it, but probably not. I'm just going to watch Loki season 2. That's what I'm going to tell myself.
A lot of people say it's good, but I've also heard it's bad. So
Yes.
I don't know. The first season was great.
And of course, the big rumor though about Deadpool 3 is people notice that next to him is the Secret Wars comic. We were just talking to your dad about that. There's a Secret Wars comic next to him in the trailer that has Doctor Doom on it. So a lot of people think that Secret Wars that they may be changing up their plans and not having Kang, given Jonathan Majors' certain stuff.
Yeah.
But that's going to be tough considering the next Avengers movie is called The Kang Dynasty.
They could always just change
They
the
can always
title.
change it.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure the real production hasn't started, like filming
yeah, no.
hasn't started yet.
But,
so.
you know, it's kind of weird because I'm sure Feige, they had to fire Majors and he was just like, I don't know what to do.
Ooh,
But
rough situation.
it's
right
a
now.
rough situation for the
What's
MCU.
going on with DC? Do you know anything that's happening at DC?
I think
Is James Gunn doing
His
anything?
new universe is supposed to launch this year. I think Superman Legacy, I think, is supposed to come out this year.
I know the Batman Part 2 is coming out. It has an official
year.
release date,
Next year.
October 2nd, 2025.
So long. But then the Penguin show should release
This year.
This year. But we got
Which I didn't realize that the sequel to the Batman is called The Batman Part 2. I love that.
oh really? Is that that's a good part? That's a good way to
Instead of just The Batman 2, it's
Yeah,
Batman
Part 2.
Part 2.
but no, that's coming out, and then he's doing what's it called?
Have you seen the posters for it yet?
Part 2?
Yeah.
No.
It's like blue.
Oh, yeah,
It's-
he showed that logo.
Yeah.
But what's the other show? It's the Creature Commandos, which is some unknown DC property he's making. Like he's letting launch his universe.
Hey, they did that with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Nobody really knew about them.
yeah. I mean, people have talked about that. James Gunn, his strength is really taking characters no one cares about and making them really loved. So he's doing that certainly with because he's got that Creature Commandos.
That's
he's
such a
doing-
weird name.
What's the
I wonder
other
if they
one?
can change that.
What's the other group that it's like another superhero group called like I don't remember, but like no one's heard of them, and they're like this kind of dark Justice League that's in the DC universe.
Interesting.
But no, that's coming
The
out.
Injustice League.
No, they're not the Injustice. That's just the. Regime,
I hope they do
right?
a live action Injustice because that would be so cool.
It'd be. I mean, you'd have to make it R,
Obviously, yeah.
but it's yeah. I need to watch the animated movie. It's supposed to be.
I heard
really,
it's
really
good. Yeah, it's very similar to the first Injustice game.
Yeah.
which is
Anyway, Deadpool 3, very exciting. Last topic of the day, sad, but we wanted to talk about this. Do you remember what I'm
the 3 Kojima games.
Yes. You
Yeah.
remembered.
I saw the list.
He saw this.
I don't even know the game, so
Yeah, so Kojima is releasing Death Stranding 2.
oh,
Then
on the
he's-
beach. No,
On the
that's-
yeah, it's
is that what
what's
it's
it
called? Is that
yeah, it's like Death
I thought-
Stranding 2,
or is
something
it-
on the beach.
okay? So does that?
Then the next game he's doing is the Jordan Peele horror game OD.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next game he's working on is what it is. He hasn't given it a title, or he has, but I can't remember it. I'm sorry, but it is a.
It's another like 2 letters, isn't it?
I think so. No, it's something. It's like Project whatever, but it is a spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid. It is an espionage action game. He said that's going to be stealth oriented, and he's making it because so many people wanted him to make another Metal Gear Solid game, and he is describing it as. Don't get me wrong, it's a video game. But if your mom walks in on you playing the game, she'll think you're watching a movie. Which, anyone who says that, I wouldn't believe anyone who says that.
Yeah.
Unless it's Kojima.
Unless it's Kojima.
Unless it's Kojima. Because I think that's not his Xbox game. I think that's just a multi-platform.
Remedy could already say that.
Remedy,
You
well...
have Quantum Break.
Yeah, Quantum Break, but that's not you. Like
I know.
his claim
Is
was
it-
that you're playing the game the whole time.
Oh,
like
okay.
Quantum Break was a mix of film and game.
I think the entire series is on YouTube.
Of Quantum Break,
Yeah,
That's
just
cool.
like the entire TV show.
but like I think this is going to
plot
be
holes.
like a pure hybrid. Like they're not like separate, but in the same game. Like they're fully meshed. This kind of film
Interesting.
game, which seems like Kojima's dream game.
So it's like Dragon's Lair.
I don't know what it's going to be like. I mean, it still has to have like the
laser discs.
espionage vibe to it, but I'm just surprised that he could work on so many games at once. I'm not surprised. It's Kojima.
How
He
many
can do it.
people does he have working for him?
Kojima's productions become a pretty big studio. I mean, you don't understand. He self-financed and self-produced Death Stranding on his own. And got like the
is
actors he
crazy.
got and made it his
Who voice acts him again?
Norman Reedus, who was in The Walking Dead.
Oh,
plays,
yeah.
Bridges. Yeah, and then, which of course he was supposed to be in PT. Like that's how it happened. Is that Norman Reedus was supposed to be the main character in PT.
PG was gonna be so good.
Yeah. So, and OD is looking like it looks like he's finally doing what his fans wanted him to do. Now that he's like doing OD, which a lot of people are speculating is supposed to be the spiritual successor to
Yeah.
PT, basically a new Metal Gear Solid game, which should be better than any Metal Gear Solid game that Konami can put
I
out at this
wonder
point.
what Konami thinks of now that they've lost Kojima. Now that it's been a
they're
few
kicking
years.
themselves in the butt. Like, it was the dumbest. Firing Hideo Kojima would be like, I don't know. I don't know the equivalent. Like, who I could say. It'd be like firing Walt Disney. Or like firing. It'd be like Nintendo firing Miyamoto.
Yeah.
No.
Or
Like
firing
this-
Reggie.
Or firing, yeah.
Bet he left.
He left. But like Kojima and look, I understand what the annoyance is. He was going over budget. Felt like he wasn't listening.
Which is, I mean, he's a creative.
But like he's a creative. Like you understand that is a man that you just need to let do his thing.
And he will make you money.
And he will make you money. Like Death Stranding somehow, Death Stranding has become a critically acclaimed box office smash. Death Stranding. Like, only he could pull that off.
It'd be an indie game, technically, wouldn't it?
I mean, I think it's an independent studio. Yeah.
So it's an.
I mean, it's technically, in a way, an indie game, though that's a whole debate. Is that more about industry or budget, Because it's like, oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is an indie game,
Yeah. I think it would probably just depend on if you're published or not.
Yeah, I don't know if they self-publish.
Or self-published or not.
I don't think they self-publish Kojima Productions. I could be wrong there.
No?
But
I'm sure. I feel like they would. Kojima has that power to be like, hey,
yeah, I'm sure
put me on
yeah.
your system. You know?
No, Kojima, I feel like is just in a great position where he understands that he is one of the great developers working in the industry today. And he is leveraging that, I think, to the best of his ability by just doing what he loves. Which it's crazy because I feel like he's the only person in the industry. I think I would say if you have to name the two people in the gaming industry that are known outside of gaming circles, I'd say maybe Miyamoto and probably Kojima, because so many like film people and so many other media people understand, oh, like that's Kojima, like that's the game auteur, And, like a lot of people consider him to be the only auteur in the video game world, which, I think I think Sam Lake deserves a place up there, but I may be a little partial there. That may just be me.
I was listening back to a podcast one day, just to clicking through the channel. I
Yeah.
don't know. And we talked about doing a live stream where we write a letter to Sam Lake.
Oh yeah, we still want to do that, don't we?
We forgot about that. We could do that and the Undertale Yellow stream.
Yeah, we could do that.
Do a little bit of both.
If y'all don't remember that, since Alan Wake 2 was our game of the year for 2023, our plan was to send him
congratulations.
a heard about it mug and a congratulations letter. See what he thinks. No, Sam Lake. I mean, that man. I was watching a friend. I was making a friend play the beginning of Alan Wake 2 because it's Alan Wake 2. And I was, rewatching those opening credits. His name is everywhere on those credits, it's his brainchild. And not to discredit all the amazing people that worked on that game, because everyone worked so hard on that. But like he has such a vision of this is what the game needs to be. And like he achieves it so well. And
I still need to finish it.
that's why I feel like Sam Lake and Kojima, I equate them so much because they're these visionaries that really try to both push the boundaries of what a video game is and what it can do. So
Sounds like also who was the developer of It Takes Two?
oh, what's his name? I love him so much.
Him, Toby Fox also.
Toby Hawk. Those are some of my favorites. I just like him because he is also a great game director, but he has such a great personality and energy, and just you can tell he loves what he does when he talks about his games. Like if you hear him, there's like video of him talking about A Way Out, and he's like, "This game, I think it's like one of the greatest games ever made." I know people say that about other games, but I really think this is like one of the coolest games ever made. That's great.
Who else? I'm trying to think of who else is like the most passionate. I hope we get Deltarune announcements soon because
Yes.
3 and 4 are supposed to come out together now.
Yes.
5's coming out later.
Yeah, well, it's weird. Like Toby Toby's interesting because, well, I just love Toby Fox because he just does whatever he wants, and but it's because he's so beloved, but he's just so out of the limelight. I mean, he doesn't do stuff, like there's not that much footage of him out and about.
Yeah, which is surprising.
Yeah.
I feel like he could get on any podcast he wanted.
Yeah. Well, I think he does interviews and stuff. He's just, he doesn't show his face and it's not in person. But no.
But he's shown his face before and he's
Yes.
like fine with it. With that.
Yeah, he's weird about it. I think
his
initially it was
persona.
like before he got big, he was doing it. I've told you about there's that great interview Toby Fox did in 2015 where he was talking about the demo for Undertale and promoting Undertale, and it was like at a Screen Rant convention or a Game Rant.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. He like
And so he's
shows
talking to the person, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a little sick. I had some dog hair, and I'm kind of allergic." And he starts
So
coughing
weird.
profusely, and he runs off stage, sneaks behind the couch they've been having the interview, and pulls out a cardboard cutout of Toby Dog, and just does the rest of the interview behind the couch doing Toby Dog voice, and it's one of the weirdest. And this was
is
like
so
before Toby Fox was
Had a
known-
name for himself.
and he was just doing this.
Yeah.
And like no, everyone was like, "What's going on?"
The crowd reaction is so awkward.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's so
But now it's like, well, yeah, that's Toby. But no one knew, like people knew him, but not for that. They
Yeah.
knew him as, what was his name when he was modding Earthbound?
I don't remember.
forget, but,
I
yeah.
do know that Undertale, it started as a Kickstarter campaign. They raised
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of money. So it did have somewhat of a name for itself, but people
Yeah.
didn't have that community yet of
Yes,
how.
no, there wasn't that community
great.
and knowledge of, oh yeah, he's that weird game developer.
Yeah.
I would say the one I'm missing, Sakurai. Sakurai was
Oh,
the
yeah,
other developer
yeah,
we should
yeah.
have brought up. Sakurai, always great, and his transparency with fans, and I mean, he just finished
Was he
that
the one
channel.
who started? That was him
Yeah.
who started the channel? Okay.
He just talked about game development. No, so yeah. Kojima, one of the greats. Really excited to see him produce these 3 games. I probably won't play Death Stranding 2 since I didn't play 1. I might play OD.
I don't think you could handle
oh.
it. You can't
I
handle
do
like
like
Poppy
two.
Playtime. I mean,
I don't know, but I
Poppy
mean,
Playtime is
you're talking about the guy who created one of the scariest games of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked weird.
That's another
OD
thing.
looked weird. That's all I'll say about it.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 released while
yeah.
we were gone. Great game so far. I haven't watched any of it because it's my first time actually playing a Poppy game instead of watching them on YouTube. Horrifying.
Yeah.
Like actually, it's the quality though has increased
Really?
like
Just 'cause with that budget?
so much. Not even just they've spent so much time on it.
Yeah.
Because like I saw a comment on I think Markiplier's video or something because I'll watch up to the point to where I've gone to
yeah, just
because
see
I don't want
there.
any spoilers. And one of the top comments was like, Mob Entertainment looked at Garden of Banban. If you don't know what Garden of Banban
yeah.
is, very rushed indie horror games, just
Yeah.
trying to make
They were trying to ride the
make a
wave.
buck. And they looked at it and they said, "We do not want to do that. We're not gonna
Yeah.
fall into that stereotype." And basically spent the entirety of this previous year and a half just
Yeah.
crafting this beautiful game. They even got rid of like something simple, like in the first 2 chapters, I think.
Yeah.
Every time you died, there was a letter that popped up. It's supposed to be part of the lore. After chapter 2 came out, Garden of Banban came out.
Oh yeah.
They started doing that too.
So they stopped doing it.
Their letters make no sense.
Oh,
They
it's
just
just
they
like-
show random letters that don't mean anything.
No,
And so
that's-
they don't have that anymore.
That always frustrates me when when there's there's a trend, and whether that's indie horror, whether it's the indie RPG, because so many people try to rush on that. And I think a lot of people do a great job with it. Like I think a great example is the 16-bit 90s era RPG, indie RPG esque is very popular. I mean, you have Undertale, Everhood, Eastward, Sea of Stars, so many games that come out, and a lot of the games are good. But I feel like there's this vibe now where people go, "Oh, I made a pixel art RPG. You're gonna love it, right? You know, this is quirky. We're quirky, we're cool." But I feel like when you actually at the end of the day, there's got to be substance to your game.
Yeah.
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 I think Larian actually is a great way to great end note for this. But Larian made a comment at the Dice
Baldur's
Awards
Gate
when they won
developers.
Baldur's Gate 3 developers that said, at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to make money is a good game.
Yeah. And it made so much money.
Yeah, it made so much, but they were just calling out. We don't answer to. We don't. It's like we don't have shareholders. We don't answer to shareholders. The only thing that we cared about was making a good game,
Which is so true.
Very true.
Obviously, it obviously shows.
Yeah.
You don't need to fill your game with microtransactions and
or
online
live service
multiplayer.
or just make a
whatever.
good game.
Yeah.
And that's where we leave you today. Thank you so
so sad
much
about Suicide
for coming with us as we all the way back into the swing of things, but probably not. We hopefully, I think we can be back in 2 weeks. That should work for me, I think.
When is 2 weeks? Hold on.
Well, we're figuring it out. Again, I'm gonna drive Jack and Gracie. You don't have
Should
to.
be okay.
We're not telling you to. But
Don't say it.
if you want to, you can subscribe. If you're on YouTube and you want to,
But
don't. You don't
We
have
can
to.
try to get.
We don't have to talk schedule. They want to hear schedule.
No, we could stream Monday. I mean, obviously this wouldn't be out, but we can announce a community post.
Oh,
So there's a chance we might have streamed yesterday.
We could stream it. We could do a stream Monday because check. Or you may have already seen it.
You may
Who
have seen
knows?
it. Hi again.
It's so weird recording and releasing because then you have to deal with
Yeah.
timeline.
Well,
it gets weird.
I hope we streamed yesterday. I hope I saw
Yes.
you there. I hope it was fun.
Yes.
We're gonna write a letter in Undertale Yellow.
Yes, that's
You
the
want to do
plan.
that, or do we
Yes.
want to do another Lethal?
Well, no, we need it. We can't write the letter by Monday because we need to get a mug.
No, I mean we could order the mug later
We could order them.
and just send it off. We don't have to show us sending it. We
show
can just
the
write
letter,
it.
yeah. All right.
Okay. So hopefully
see
we
you-
will have seen you yesterday.
Yes, and that would entail the letter and the writing. If you haven't seen that yet, and if it's out, because we don't know, check it out. It should be. We should have saved it and uploaded it. Have a good day. This ending took way too long.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.